Hello everyone. Today I have created another recording to share knowledge about the life element. The life element is the primordial essence, empty, pure, and pristine. It neither comes nor goes, neither arises nor ceases, is neither dark nor bright, for it is an element of pure emptiness. I am here to enhance the knowledge of our life element, so that it may awaken and finally realize the truth about our genuine nature. This understanding will free us from attachment to anything in this world, including this physical body. Without attachment, there is no suffering. We need not cling to mental images we create, nor to various emotions. We need not attach to anything. When free from attachment, we find ease. Even awareness itself need not be grasped. It knows by itself. In essence, there is no self in any condition. When there is no self in any condition, it's like this body is a robot, this voice is a program, mental images are programs, emotions are programs, and the act of knowing is a program. None of these is our true self. We are the pure, empty life element, merged as one with the infinite universe. Let's understand it this way for now. The reason I emphasize and reiterate knowledge about our life element or consciousness is with the aim that we all remember it, whether young or old. I wish for this knowledge recording to reach everyone on earth, children, elderly, disabled, women, men, accessible to all genders, ages, classes, status, religions, beliefs, ethnicities, nationalities, and countries. I want everyone to listen, because while we have learned everything else this world has to offer, the science of mind, the science of our pure and empty life, element that resides within has not been taught. No one has taught this subject with clarity and precision. I will guide you all to see and directly experience this through simply listening and following along. Let us put aside all your previous knowledge and simply observe and follow along. When understanding arises, what is its appearance? Let us contemplate. Does understanding have any form or appearance? It does not, right? Yet there exists a natural element within that records, processes, and understands by itself. This element that understands is the life element. It seeks the most refined knowledge, the kind that reaches deep into the heart, true understanding itself. When understanding reaches the heart, our life element awakens. This knowledge will rouse the life element to realize that it is already pure. Everything else is not it. Speaking of it, let us now say us. If this empty, pure life element is us, our true nature has no form. Though formless, it is an extremely pure element. Our element is incredibly clear and pure. We are an element that is one with all things in the infinite universe. This body is not our body. This is already coarse. And the sounds that come out are even less our own. Mental images are not us. Emotions are certainly not us. Even the awareness that knows and hears is not us. We are the empty, pure, immortal element, the zero element, timeless, formless, dimensionless, merged with all things. We are this element. Observe it. If this body were truly ours, let us contemplate. Could we command it not to age, not to fall ill, not to decay, or not to die? This form is like a robot we inhabit, but we are not this robot. This is merely a robot that we inhabit to learn about and understand our life element. Have you noticed? Since our birth, even in previous eras, if we look back into the past, we have been born as everything. Each time a body dies, we as the life element, call it mind essence or consciousness if you will, we are this empty, pure life element. This element is the original nature that seeks to know what it truly is. We want to know what we are because we cannot understand ourselves directly. We need tools to understand it. Let me try to explain the origins and let us follow along. I'm not speaking for you to believe, but for you to follow along until your mind accepts this knowledge and releases its attachments. Then we will understand everything. I created this recording to point us toward understanding the essence, to foster world peace. World peace can only emerge when everyone on earth understands life's essence, that we were not born to fight over land, not to destroy each other. We're not born to harm one another, to kill, to hurt, to hate, to seek revenge, or to quarrel. But we were born to know, to learn about our inner nature. This life is a chance. We have learned so many things about external nature. We know all the external subjects, but we've never known the inner subject. Have you ever asked yourself as a child, why were you born? What do you really want? We already have everything. This form of human body, home, vehicles, clothes, medicine, food, necessities for the body. But why do we feel it's not enough? Why do we feel we still need something? There's a deep question within, a profound yearning for something, seeking something. Have you noticed what we truly want from being born? We were not born just to eat, bustle about finding food, sleep, then wake up again to get busy about eating and sleeping. In truth, one plate of food is enough to sustain us, yet we struggle from dawn to dusk, troubled by everything, just for one plate of food. Then sleep, wake up again, struggle greatly just to eat one plate of food, then sleep again. We were not born to live in just this loop. Let's imagine, were we born just for this? Is this all we're here for? And you know this body doesn't last long, right? This body is temporary, yet we keep repeating the same pattern. Wake up struggling, fighting almost to death just for one plate of rice, then sleep. Tomorrow it starts again, struggling greatly for one plate of rice, then sleep. Like this every day, until the body begins to fall ill, starts aging. This body dies prematurely sometimes or becomes disabled, becoming a burden, creating more trouble. This body doesn't last long. In conclusion, this body is born to decay. Do you understand this? Everyone understands. This body is born to decay. It's born and must certainly die. It doesn't take long. It could be this evening or tomorrow. This body truly doesn't last long. While sitting in a car, an accident might occur, or slipping in the bathroom could result in a fatal head injury. We are ready to lose life very quickly. This body doesn't last long at all. When this body stops functioning and dies, this body stops working. Do you know? Our life element continues to create conditional phenomena to seek a new body. Our life has conditions that envelop us. We are the pure element wrapped in conditions, dwelling in a body. It's like the empty, pure life element creating a membrane to envelop itself, a membrane of mental formations, similar to a soap bubble. We create a clear soap bubble membrane to envelop ourselves. This clear membrane that envelops us functions to perceive and can vibrate as sound, like this speaking. The element's phenomena vibrate as images, as emotions, such as satisfaction, dissatisfaction, or neutrality, and vibrate as the act of knowing. Why does our life element create these conditions to envelop us? To serve as tools for learning. In conclusion, these conditions are merely tools, certainly not our true self. They are natural phenomena performing their functions, understand? Because if we had no form, we couldn't understand anything. We need form or appearance to rely on these conditional phenomena to understand things. But these conditional forms are merely clear soap bubbles. We can call it mind essence, right? We use these conditions to learn various things, but cannot learn completely without a body. It must find a body first to learn completely. Our life element puts on conditions to envelop itself, like a soap bubble, then enters a body as another layer. This means we put on the conditional suit first, then wear the bodily suit. These are called the subtle body and the gross body. Let's understand it through this metaphor. Now, let's look back at the origin to better understand where we really came from. Have we ever asked ourselves what we truly want? Where did we come from? What is our true self? Because when this body stops functioning or dies, our mind with its enveloping conditions will rush to find a new body, sometimes born as animals. Once in an animal body, we believe we are that animal. When that body is eaten or destroyed, The life element wrapped in conditions seeks another body, perhaps as an underground creature, land animal, or bird, and we believe we are that creature again. What are we really? In conclusion, I'm pointing out that we have never really been any particular being. We just inhabit robots. Let's call everything robots. Aquatic robots, water animal robots, underground animal robots, land animal robots, flying animal robots. We inhabit various types of robots, and these robots don't last long, understand? Then we become human robots. It goes round and round like this, constantly changing, depending on the opportunities and conditions that determine which robot we inhabit, depending on our life's nature and what we cling to. What do we cling to? Suppose we remember being attached to a house, feeling concerned about this house, loving this house deeply, worried about this house greatly. You know, as we age, this body ages too. When this robot body ages and reaches its end, it dies. Do you know? Our life element, dwelling in conditions that envelop us, is immersed in feelings of concern and possessiveness for this house. It wants to look after this house, won't let anyone else have it, feeling that this house is ours, everything is ours, our house, all our possessions. And it will draw the life element to seek a new life in any animal living in this house. As it happens, at that moment, there's a gecko about to mate and lay new eggs. Our life element, which is wrapped in clinging conditions at that time, is drawn to that gecko because it's about to lay eggs, and those eggs will become small geckos living in this house. We then inhabit that egg. Our life element, wrapped in clinging conditions at that time, is drawn to that gecko because it's about to lay eggs, and those eggs will become small geckos living in this house. We then inhabit that egg and emerge as a small gecko. Then we forget everything. When inhabiting this small gecko, we are taught that we are a gecko. Our duty is to eat insects, and we eat by instinct. We forget completely why we came to be here. Everything is forgotten. Each time we receive a new body vessel, all data is reset. Whatever we remembered as humans disappears, but it remains buried deep in our life element's feelings that we cherish this house, we want to protect this house, forbidding others from interfering, claiming, "This is my house." We cling to it as our possession. This memory resides within our life element as an inner memory. Then comes the feeling that anything will do, as long as we can stay and guard this house, wanting to continue caring for this house. It draws us to obtain a vessel of any animal living in this house, perhaps a worm, dog, cat, insect dwelling in this house, snake, millipede, gecko, tokay gecko, bird, or anything that's about to inhabit this place. When the life element is drawn to attach to this, it will seek a body to continue dwelling here. This is the basic knowledge we must understand. When inhabiting this animal vessel from egg stage onwards, we have duties like eating small insects and must flee from humans who might catch or eat us. We hide, emerge to eat when it's time, and stay here, feeling content to be here, yet not knowing why we're here. Understand? There is only ignorance, constant not knowing. Do you know? We have only ignorance. Since birth, there's just this inner feeling that we don't know. We don't know what we truly are. When we're born, parents and everyone teach us we're their child. Are we really their child? Okay, we have a name they gave us, Apple. So we're Apple. They tell us we're male. Oh, male? Then what is female? What is male? We begin to understand that male is like this, female is like that. Oh, we're male, we're female, named Apple. What's this? This is father, we're the child? This is our mother? We start learning everything about what we are, being conditioned about what we are. Everyone teaches us to think, to remember. We remember our name. We begin remembering. From initially not knowing what we are, we're born in ignorance. There's only not knowing, but we're taught to know we're this name, this person, child of this family. Okay, We're of this family, this is our house. We can think, remember, have emotions, have awareness. We begin to understand that we are human. We believe we're truly human. From initially not knowing what we are, this is our life element. The life element wants to know it is pure essence, but cannot understand itself. It must inhabit a vessel because without tools, it cannot understand itself. It's like wanting to explore the underwater world. Without tools to go down, we cannot know. We need diving gear, oxygen tanks, or a submarine to go deep into the ocean to learn about it. Otherwise, we'd never know what's in the ocean. Similarly, with exploring space, there is so much we don't know. We don't know where this world came from, how this body came to be, why we inhabit this body. When we die from this body, when it stops functioning, stops breathing, we don't know where we go. There is only not knowing. Our life element seeks answers. This life element seeks the final answer, to know that we are the empty, pure life element. Only when we retreat inward to learn about the primordial element can we understand everything. But now we begin from understanding ourselves as human. We understand everything in this world, but we've never known our inner nature. This is the single subject, the single knowledge, the single thing that challenges all of us, because none of us has ever known what's inside. I speak of this because I no longer question the inner nature. I simply want to show you what's within us. Call it the empty, pure life element. Call it mind. Call it Dhamma element. Call it immortal element. Or call it the primal element. We are the primal element, the originating element, the empty, pure life element. This is the primal element. We are the primal element. The originating element creates conditions and creates all forms. Even the universe is created from this primal element. Let's prove it. We'll trace back to the origin. This recording is excellent. We should share the Freedom from Suffering Through Understanding page with everyone in the world. Share through various channels like YouTube, Facebook, or other future channels. Share with everyone in the world, from children to adults. Everyone should know. Everyone, all genders, ages, religions, ethnicities, everyone can listen. I created this recording to achieve one thing, the essence of world peace. This is the core. If we understand this, we will understand everything, and we will live together in harmony, without harming each other, without fighting, without destroying one another. We destroy and fight each day because we think everything belongs to us. Even this body, we believe it's ours. But the earth, water, everything on this world belongs to nature entirely, yet we cling to it as ours, our possessions. We believe this body is our body, this voice our voice, these mental images our mental images, these emotions our emotions. But truly knowing, we know there is no self in these conditions. We are the primal element, the originating element, a natural element that is alive and extremely empty and pure. Imagine if we had no form but were alive, formless, a pure element merged throughout the universe. We are this element. No sound, this sound is not us. No image, no emotion, no awareness. There is only peace, serenity, purity, absolutely pure. We are this utterly pure essence. We must come to know our inner nature. Whoever reaches this point is victorious. Whoever wins this game first will shed tears, cry with utmost wonder, because it is the most precious thing. Have we ever experienced ultimate happiness? If we reach our inner nature, it will be 1,000,000 times greater than that, transcending this world. Then we will know where the entire universe came from, how our sense of self arose, how this form arose, how sound, mental images, emotions, and awareness arose. We will understand the entirety of the cycle where all beings endlessly circle through birth and death, just like us. We are reborn as humans, sometimes as aquatic creatures, sometimes as flying creatures, sometimes as land animals, sometimes as underground creatures, constantly changing, sometimes as tiny insects, in countless forms. We have changed bodies millions of times. Going back to the origin, we must understand this first, otherwise we cannot understand these things. This knowledge is extremely challenging, but can be taught to everyone. Whoever understands first will gain a precious treasure that will make us want to proclaim to the world, stop harming each other, stop fighting. We are not part of this world, not related to this world. We are a most pure element. Don't fight, don't quarrel, don't do anything harmful. Let us live together, discussing only the pure element. We will have nothing but joy. First, to see what our pure element is, let us imagine. Try eliminating this body. If there were no body, eliminate it completely. What remains is the empty, pure life element, which is our primal element. Various conditions will remain only as sound, image, emotions, and knowing. All these are just conditions, with our life element as the primal element, the originating element. Pure, empty, clear. Now two things remain. Eliminate these conditions, eliminate sound, eliminate mental images, eliminate all appearing emotions, eliminate all memory and recognition of everything we remember. Eliminate all knowledge we've remembered. Finally, this knowing awareness, hearing sounds now. Aren't you hearing sounds? This perceiving condition, eliminate that too. Now, where is the self? We can't speak anymore. No language, no sound. All understanding, all stories we once understood. Gone, eliminated. Mental images, eliminated. All emotions, completely eliminated. Even the current awareness, knowing everything, try closing your eyes. We hear sounds, or we know everything. Feeling cold, feeling hot, knowing smells, knowing sounds, knowing touch. This knowing awareness, eliminate it. Nothing will remain. Now only emptiness remains, pure clarity, which is our life element. Only formless life remains, like when we fall into deep sleep, completely gone in deep sleep. The question is, where is the self? Where is the self? Then, suppose we sleep deeply for 4 hours. Where do we disappear to then? Then no form remains at all. Sound, images, emotions, conditions, everything disappears. Then where is the self? The body still has life element dwelling within it. The empty, pure life element remains in that body lying there, but it has cut off all perception. Suppose we sleep deeply, very deeply, where nothing disturbs us at all, and everything disappears. That's how our life element is. But this life element still lacks knowledge, still doesn't know what it is. Our life element is already pure, extremely clear, like a pure element right before us. Can't be grasped by hand, this clarity. Not air, but empty, pure clarity right before us, unable to be grasped. We are this element, and it's alive. We are exactly this kind of element, but with life. This element of ours, while we sleep deeply, still exists. It remains the same, complete as before, pure as before. But it doesn't yet know it is the pure element. We don't yet know we are this element. Like when we sleep deeply, we don't know where is the self. Understand? There's still the feeling of, where is the self? What are we? But this knowledge hasn't yet occurred to the essence of life. We only need this knowledge of what we are. All questions exist, but whenever we know our life element as pure element, when we know, we will know everything. We will know that nothing is truly us. We will know we were always pure element, and everything is just nature being as it is. The speaking voice speaks by itself. The body is just this way. Heart beats by itself. Lungs work by themselves. Liver works by itself. Blood vessels work by themselves. Brain works by itself. All organs in the body work by themselves completely. Emotions work by themselves. Awareness knows by itself. Voice speaks by itself. Thoughts think by themselves. We will clearly see that nothing is us. And when we know ourselves, we'll see that we are an extremely pure, clear element. Understanding arises, enlightenment occurs, understanding ourselves as this pure element. We'll know how we were deluded by sound, emotions, thoughts. Why were we deluded by these things? Discrimination will arise, and brilliant knowledge will dawn. Tears will flow. We will know everything once we reach this. It will feel miraculous, magnificent. But when reached, don't cling to being one who is reached, because there is no self. Truly, there remains no essence of self anymore. We will live in this world with ease, without suffering, without harming each other, without fighting, without destruction. Only sharing, helping and guiding everyone to understand this element. Everyone must look within, observe within. See the speaking voice. Try observing within. For instance, from waking until sleeping, at any time while driving to work, thinking, why is there so much traffic today? Do you see the voice speaking in your mind? Why is there so much traffic today? Do you see this voice? When we see that this voice speaks by itself, then it will arise. Knowledge will suddenly flash. Hey, this voice speaks by itself. Does this voice really speak on its own? Knowledge will flash, and everything becomes clear. In that moment of understanding, everything becomes open, and knowledge arises asking, are parents just sound? Parents are just sound. Heavy traffic. Hey, this voice is saying there's heavy traffic. When we look at everything, things themselves don't speak. This voice says there's heavy traffic, even though things themselves don't speak. Sky and earth. That doesn't say it's earth. But this voice says so. Tears will flow because this voice creates everything. When looking at the body, looking at arms, looking at your own hands, look at your legs, there will be empty knowing. It doesn't say, this is left hand, or this is right leg, left leg. There's only empty knowing. You'll see what we really are because there's no spoken language. It sees that this form isn't our body, and the voice says, left leg, right leg, this is left hand. Seeing that voice, tears will flow, crying. Knowledge will arise that this isn't a hand and it doesn't belong to anyone. It's merely something being known, something that just appears to be known. This voice is what creates everything. Knowledge arises, tears flow as if we've lost everything, but it's not complete. This is just the beginning. When we see the truth, knowledge will arise wanting to tell this world that we fight and quarrel because of this language. This language has no real existence, cannot be grasped. This language is just something that vibrates, conditions itself within, vibrates within, and becomes sound. But sound comes from vibration within. When we just observe within, observe how it speaks by itself. After this, we'll begin to see it more often. Now we'll begin to observe within, seeing how anger arises by itself, becomes happy by itself, then disappears by itself. It becomes irritated by itself, then disappears. Good mood appears briefly, then vanishes. Boredom appears briefly, then vanishes. Anger appears briefly, then vanishes. These conditions don't speak. We'll see these conditions work by themselves. Suppose, while driving, we see why there's so much traffic today. The moment we saw this, tears immediately started flowing, feeling overwhelmed with emotion and not knowing what to do. Suppose after about 2 days the same situation occurs again. Boredom arises again. So tired of this traffic jam. We see that emotion. That emotion doesn't speak. It's just some kind of emotion. But this voice says, so tired. Knowledge flashes. Tears flow again. Does this boredom arise by itself? Why do we get bored with it? It's like we're detaching ourselves from that emotion. Can you understand this? Our life element is empty, pure. It has created a fog of some energy like surface tension. We are pure essence, formless essence, clear. Everything dwells within this pure essence. This pure essence has created surface tension of its essence to receive impacts, just like water. Let's imagine a clear mass of water, a clear water mass floating before us. As a metaphor, Imagine a clear mass of water floating before us. It has surface tension of the water mass, right? When something touches it, or wind impacts the water's surface, ping, awareness occurs first. When impact occurs, pop, awareness, and then a ripple effect occurs in circles on the water's surface. The impact, pop. This is the condition of knowing, and the effect that occurs is the rippling into emotions, rippling into sound, rippling into images, rippling into the condition of knowing. All of these are rippling conditions of the life element, of our extremely pure primal element. When we just observe, that is, guide our life element to be aware, to be conscious, and observe these conditions, just observing within. While driving, there's heavy traffic, right? We begin to feel, oh, so boring. An emotion arises, pop, boredom emotion. Then a voice says, so boring. We see this speaking voice and see that that emotion, that condition doesn't speak, and then understanding flashes. Hey, does this condition occur by itself? And do we say this is boredom? If this emotion is not us, then where is the self? It will create a reflection back to questioning oneself. Who really are we? What really are we? But there's no answer yet. It will know that this emotion isn't ours at all. When it laughs, it's not us laughing. It's just a condition. Sadness is just a condition. When we think and imagine an image or think-speak internally, suppose we think and imagine, later we'll visit Mother in the province. We think, imagine, have an image of Mother, then think about visiting Mother, buying things for Mother. While driving, we think we'll visit Mother, buy things for Mother, just thinking casually. A pleasant emotion arises immediately. Emotions arise when what we think or imagine aligns with our thoughts. But whenever we think, we'll visit parents, must arrive by noon to have lunch together, and then there's a feeling, oh, there's so much traffic today, so boring, an unpleasant emotion arises because we thought and imagined arriving by noon. But looking at the situation, we certainly won't make it. Traffic is heavy. Unpleasant emotion arises because what we thought and imagined isn't matching reality. Understand? Emotions arise following thoughts and imagination. Pleasant emotions arise when what we think and imagine aligns with our thoughts, and unpleasant emotions arise when it doesn't align with our thoughts. This emotion works by itself. It's merely a rippling condition of our essence, or the surface of our element, just rippling. When the life element sees this truth, we see the truth that emotion works by itself and disappears by itself. We don't need to engage with sound, thoughts, or mental images. When emotion arises, don't engage with it. Just observe that emotion arises by itself and disappears by itself. Emotion has no owner. It's nature working by itself, like officials performing their duties. The voice speaking internally, which is thought, the official that thinks, that speaks now. My voice speaking through an open mouth, the voice we speak constantly. This voice is an official rippling into sound, which works by itself. The official rippling into images works by itself. The condition rippling into emotion works by itself. The condition rippling into awareness works by itself. Even the condition functioning as understanding, or receiving or recording understanding, works by itself. All of this functions to support the element. Our life element isn't involved with any of these things. It is an extremely empty, clear element. It will understand itself. We will understand ourselves, but must rely on tools, must rely on these conditions. Once we have these conditions, we then rely on this body. This body is also a tool, understand? We are fortunate to be born inhabiting a human body, which is metaphorically a human robot. We are fortunate to inhabit this human robot, but we were not born just to find food or to be troubled with fighting, destroying each other, killing each other. No, we came to inhabit this body to learn about our empty, clear, and pure life element, which is the primal element, because we don't know what we really are, because we are clear element, and this clear element cannot know itself without tools. That's why we must rely on these conditions, which work by themselves as natural phenomena that function automatically. Where there is life element, there must be conditions, understand? Just as where there is water, there must be water's condition, waves, understand? When there is clear water, there must be waves of this clear water. These are conditions. When we understand, it's natural for water to have waves, similarly, the nature of our life element, which is the immortal element, the primal element, empty, clear, and pure, also has these conditions, conditions that are sound. The sound I'm speaking, the sounds we speak, or what we constantly speak in our minds, called thoughts, the voice speaking in mind, thinking in mind, the voice speaking in mind without a physical mouth speaking, see? The voice speaking in mind, let's observe, it speaks this and that in the mind, but without a mouth. If our life element has no mouth, yet it has conditions, rippling into voice within our mind, they call this heart or mind, which are the same thing. The voice speaking in our mind, suppose we're driving, it speaks internally. There's so much traffic, so boring. It creates a speaking voice in the mind, speaking by itself, and there are images, emotions. Boredom emotion is just a condition. Emotion doesn't speak. Can we see this? We just observe casually. No need to concentrate intensely. No need to focus hard. Let nature know by itself. Know comfortably. Know naturally. Live normally, from waking until sleeping. Every moment ready to understand this point continuously. Just observe. Why is there so much traffic, so boring? While it speaks like this, let's observe. It speaks by itself. This emotion also arises by itself. Emotion by itself. When we realize this, hey, it will be very joyful, open, as if the life element has broken free from conditions. Right now, our life element is still attached and connected to conditions. It's like tiny threads connecting to these conditions. When our life element realizes the truth that these conditions are not us, these tiny threads that attach and support that energy will contract and detach from the connection. It will break free completely. We will see the truth that, hey, this emotion isn't us. This speaking is speaking by itself. A severing will occur, breaking free, and if we see this breaking free, one condition will arise. Great openness, light openness, like lifting a mountain off one's chest, like we've been carrying the knowledge that we are human. We believe this is our body. We carry this voice, the voice we believe is us. Mental images, emotions, knowing conditions, we believe these things are us. Even this body, we believe it's us. We carry these things heavily, 1 mass, 100 masses. When we realize this voice itself creates everything, this body exists because this voice speaks. When we see that body arises because of this voice, it will break free from the attachment of being human. But mental formations still remain. When it breaks free and relaxes, the feeling of being human will disappear by 25%. The knowledge that we once understood ourselves to be human disappears by 25%. It feels light and open. This is the result. When we see the truth, we feel light and open, tears flowing. Whoever understands this point, tears will flow, because they see the truth that we are not human. We used to understand that we were human. While speaking now, we believe we are speaking, if we see that it speaks within. Hey, this speaking is speaking by itself, not us speaking. It speaks by itself. Emotions also work by themselves. If we see this point again, another 25% breaks free, leaving 50%. From being 100% heavy, reducing to 75% and dropping another 25%, leaving 50%, it becomes very light and open. Now we begin to see that speaking voice, all mental images, they condition themselves, speak entirely by themselves. Then a feeling arises. Hey, where is the self? It will struggle to find the answer. What really are we? If this voice isn't us, then what are we? It will struggle for answers. our life element will try to know what we truly are. Now, seeing that this speaking voice isn't us, it breaks free, relaxes. Seeing this continuously during this period, seeing more frequently until seeing constantly. It breaks free again, light, open, tears flowing. If this voice speaking isn't us, nothing is us. This voice speaks everything. There's only voice speaking constantly. We'll see this voice speaking from waking until sleeping, see this voice giving value to everything. Now it's very light and open, another 25% gone, leaving just 25%. In total, 75 kilos gone, leaving 25 kilos we still carry from 100 kilos. Extremely light now, but still feeling there's a self, still a self that hears, smells, likes, is currently aware. Now it will spin constantly, knowing inside constantly, even while sleeping, seeing inner conditions constantly, seeing speaking voice constantly. Suddenly seeing more subtly, until seeing as words, appearing then disappearing, appearing then disappearing. Voice speaking in mind once known, instantly vanishes. Voice speaks up. Once known, instantly vanishes. It will be its own thing. Voice appears once known, instantly vanishes. It will be something very rapid, pop, 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 very fast. We'll know, and vanish, pop, pop, pop inside our mind. We will see for ourselves. We will see the speaking voice, from sentences becoming words, then vanishing, becoming words, then vanishing. Specifically, it will become something even more subtle. Pop, 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 vanish, 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 subtle. Observe carefully within, even now. Let me ask you something. Who is hearing the sound right now? Without trying, you hear sound. No need to concentrate, no need to focus. Observe inside right now. Who is aware? Right now aware of both sound. Right now, who is aware? Observe carefully. We will see that it knows by itself. Nature knows. It performs the function of knowing by itself. There is no us knowing. Understand this point well. Until one moment while driving to our destination, when we arrive and open the door, something in the door falls to the floor with a thud sound, and we startle slightly. There's awareness of something that made a thud sound just now. Thud. When we know this thing, it thinks in the mind with a start. Eh? What? It's about to say, eh? What? It feels a start arise. It sees this knowing. Who knows? Sees the startled condition that arose. Who knows this? When seeing that this knowing condition isn't us, it's the life element seeing by itself. There's no us seeing, but it will see naturally by itself, because it's beginning to awaken. As we become lighter by 25%, it starts awakening 75%. When we become lighter by 50%, it starts awakening 50%. Awakening increases as our life element begins to wake 25%. Ignorance disappears 25%, our deluded attachment. As we understand progressively, it begins to awaken 50%. Understanding continuously, beginning to awaken 75%. Understanding continuously. Until seeing that what knows now knows by itself, enlightenment will occur, exploding brilliantly, shining brightly within our mind. Once bright, we will break free from selfhood, becoming empty, clear, pure life element that merges with the infinite universe. We break free from this body, break free from this voice, mental images, emotions, knowing conditions. We will break free from everything. Then we'll encounter one knowledge, a clear knowledge that nothing is us. But we are the life element that knows everything. We are everything. Like the emptiness of the infinite universe, we are everything, like water in the ocean. This is the nature of original nature, the vast ocean water. One drop of that ocean is our life element, a tiny drop put into this body. This body has life because of this clear water drop. Whenever we see that this body isn't us, These thoughts and emotions aren't us. It's like this clear water drop returning to the ocean. One water drop returning to the ocean. When our water drop enters the ocean, plop, our drop can't be found, but we are that ocean water itself. Now we are everything, understand? Nothing can indicate where we are because we are everything, understand? But whenever a single drop is taken, selfhood returns. But whenever the drop is returned to the ocean, it becomes everything again. Similarly, when we observe within, seeing this voice creates everything. This voice isn't us, the speaking voice, emotions, appearing images, or any emotions, what's known, what's perceived, hearing sounds, everything knows itself. These natural phenomena work by themselves. Observe carefully, see it clearly, grasp this principle well. The principle is just this. Everyone grasp this principle well. Grasp that we are empty, clear, pure element. Nothing else is us. Grasp this principle well. Then just observe if it's true. Let's prove it. Let all of us prove it together. Tell each other. Share this knowledge. Freedom from suffering comes through knowing. Share this page for everyone in the world to hear. All religions, all beliefs, children, elderly, disabled, women, men, let them listen. Anyone who listens to all the recordings I've made, I'll keep making them up to 100 recordings. Listen 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. Listen for no more than 7 days, 7 months. We will break free. If not completely, almost. It will be light, open, tears bursting forth. We will become, and we will wow. The more we listen, the more challenging, the more we listen, the happier we become, because understanding increases, becoming lighter, more open. The more we listen, the lighter, the more open. The more we listen, the lighter. Listening from waking until sleeping, we'll become deeply absorbed, as if about to break through but not yet breaking through. Keep listening until my voice echoes in your mind constantly. Then you'll see why my voice echoes in your mind constantly. Notice, that voice will echo within your mind, echo in the empty, clear, life element of your mind. That voice will echo inside constantly, my voice reminding you, see? Thinking. See? The speaking voice, it speaks by itself. See? It knows by itself. My voice will keep reminding, keep telling that nothing is us. We are the empty, clear, pure life element. There will be a reminding voice until one day we notice that it knows by itself. This knowing knows by itself, this speaking speaks by itself. Suddenly it asks itself spontaneously, where is the self? But it sees within, sees that this speaking isn't us, sees that this knowing isn't us either. Then where is the self? Suddenly it asks itself, and suddenly an answer arises from within, my voice, or the life element's voice, rippling to create the answer. There is no self. So in conclusion, we are this pure element. But this life element cannot speak. It creates conditions, so these conditions can speak for it, saying there is no self. When this life element receives the answer that there is no self, brilliance will arise, like breaking free from attachment. It creates conditions to abandon these conditions. We inhabit this body to abandon this body, because the body isn't us. We use emotions to abandon emotions because emotions aren't us. We merely use them. We use voice, use images that speak within the mind as thought formations, currently thinking, imagining in the mind. We use them to abandon them because they aren't us. We use these conditions of awareness to abandon these conditions of awareness because they aren't us. Whenever we receive this answer and break free from these things, they will automatically abandon themselves. When the life element knows the truth that it is life element, it stops using conditions and stops using the body too. Enlightenment will occur, extremely bright and clear. We will see for ourselves. Tears will flow. It will be magnificent. Let all of us come prove this. come prove to clearly know this science, the science of mind, the science of life element, which is the primal element, the origin. Let us prove it. Let us clearly know it. All of us can know it, can clearly know it, can reach it, everyone. Starting from children, teach children from 3 to 4 years old. Teach them. Soon they will see it, they will be amazed, they will tell us. When we understand, flash, and marvel, crying tears for 2 to 3 days, 4 days or so. It will be so amazing, feeling light and open for days. For some people, then we will live life very easily. We will live on this world very happily because nothing is us. It's like when nothing is us, we don't know why we would be angry with each other, hate each other, compete, show off, destroy each other. For what? It will become like it's okay. Gaining is okay. Losing is okay. We can solve problems. What's there to worry about? This period has losses. Let the losses be. Adjust the business. Body aging, much pain, having cancer. Let it be. Let it go. This body won't last long. Not more than 1 week until death. It's okay. Death comes, and that's that. There will be a feeling that nothing is us. When nothing is us, why would we suffer? There's only spreading this knowledge. I give everyone to listen. Now when everyone, or our relatives, parents, family, or people we know in this world listen, they will thank us when they clearly know. Tears flowing, crying. They clearly know. Their doubts end completely. They're free from suffering. Many illnesses we used to have. Some had stress disorders. These will disappear. Depression will disappear. Migraines, headaches, stomach diseases will all completely vanish because there's no more thinking. Whatever happens, just know it. It becomes knowing according to reality. When something impacts us, cold, we know it's cold, we put on clothes. Hot, we know it's hot. We wear light clothes. Hungry, we know we're hungry. We eat. If there's no food, we stay hungry. Drink water. If there's good food, we eat well. If there's poor food, we eat it. We'll live in this world comfortably without suffering, without anger, without hatred, without anything, because that's how it is. What happens? Happens. If others criticize us, let them. If they quarrel, nothing comes of it. Let it be. They don't understand yet. They criticize us, but we don't suffer with them. They'll be troubled with their matters. One day, when we spread this knowledge to them and they listen and understand, they'll come tell us, "Last night was amazing. I saw conditions, saw voice, saw mental images, saw emotions, saw that they aren't me." They'll say, "I cried tears. I'm so light now. I'm comfortable now. I'm not stressed like before. I sleep well every night. I don't overthink like before. Nothing is me anymore. It's so comfortable." They'll tell us their experience. They'll smile brightly. They'll come thank us. We'll say, "Very good, very good." Everyone will begin discussing with understanding about mind matters. Everyone will start talking only about freedom from suffering. Everyone will keep speaking, keep telling, becoming comfort. All of us will talk only about comfort, lightness, openness, this inner knowledge that no one ever taught us in detail before. But once we know it, we'll be very happy. It will become a science that everyone teaches each other worldwide. Spread my recordings throughout the world. If anyone is a teacher, teach students every day. Play it for students every day, and students will be free from suffering. There won't be stress disorders, neurosis, depression, none at all. Then everyone will reach this pure element completely. When truly reaching it, there won't be boasting that I'm skilled, I'm God, I'm something. There won't be any of that. There will only be feelings of emptiness, lightness, comfort, not being anything. Why boast about skill? Why be anything? Because we aren't anything. We are the empty, clear, pure life element. Remember this. No selfhood remains, and we don't become anything either. There's only purity, openness, comfort. Want this whole world to be like this. And when we teach, teachers teaching students every day, teaching every day. Before long, children will start feeling open. experiencing wonder, crying, happy that they've become free, no longer suffering. They'll come tell us their experiences. Let's teach all our children. Child, listen to this recording. Nothing is really us, child. We are life element. But because we don't know, we attach to voice, images, emotions, knowing conditions and body, even though they aren't ours. We just temporarily inhabit them. Child, observe carefully. Just observe within. Observe the voice. It speaks by itself, doesn't it, child? It hears by itself, doesn't it? It perceives by itself. The perceiving condition works by itself. Emotions work by themselves. What knows, knows by itself. What speaks, speaks by itself. What thinks in the mind, thinks by itself. It appears by itself and disappears by itself. Can't be grasped, see, child? Can't be grasped at all. Voice, emotions, knowing conditions, none of these can be grasped at all. They all work by themselves, no self, so comfortable. When every child has this flash of insight, this realization, they cry tears and tell us, Mom, Dad, I know now, I'm comfortable now. Nothing is me anymore. I feel so open. They'll come tell us their experiences. Everyone will become free from suffering throughout the whole world. Then there will be no harming each other, living together in peace. Our world will be a world of unity, helping, sharing, and progressing forward together, because nothing is us. There's only making everyone understand. We will make everyone understand. This knowledge makes everyone equal. It is knowledge that frees us from all suffering. This is the core of world peace that will arise. I entrust you to realize this clearly. Take this knowledge deep inside. Make our life element awaken. Nothing is us at all. May all of us quickly, instantly realize this truth. Everyone, all of you. Thank you for watching and engaging with these teachings on awakening. If you found them meaningful, we would deeply appreciate your support through subscribing, liking the video, or sharing your thoughtful comments.